She didn't just leave him, she left him on the worst night of his life, the night his mother died, and never looked back. 6 years later, she walked into his office not knowing who owned it. The receptionist asked for her name. Stephen already knew she was coming. Stop. Don't skip this. Because what you are about to hear is the kind of story that doesn't leave you. It will stay with you on your drive home. It will sit with you at dinner. It will find you at 2 a.m. when the world is quiet and you are finally alone with your thoughts. It is a story about love, about betrayal, about a man broken so completely that the only thing left was to rebuild himself into something unrecognizable. And it is a story about the woman who broke him, who came back years later, expecting ruins, and found a throne instead. His name is Stephen, and this is where it begins. 6 years ago, a young man sits alone in a hospital waiting room. His shoes are worn through at the sole. His jacket is 2 sizes too big, borrowed from a neighbor. In his hands, a phone with a cracked screen and 4% battery. He is 24 years old. His mother has just died, and the woman he loves is not answering. Her name is Nana. He calls again. 4% becomes 3. 3 becomes 2. She doesn't answer. He sends a message, 3 words. She's gone. Please. The phone dies. Stephen sits in that plastic chair in that cold, silent corridor, surrounded by strangers. And for the first time in his adult life, he cries. Not because his mother is gone, though that pain is immeasurable. He cries because in that moment he knows. He already knows. She is not coming. She didn't just leave him, she left him on the worst night of his life, the night his mother died, and never looked back. 6 years later, she walked into his He cries. Not because his mother is gone, though that pain is immeasurable. He cries office, not knowing who owned it. The receptionist asked for her name. Stephen already knew she was coming. Stop. Don't skip this. Because what you are about to hear is the kind of story that doesn't leave you. It will stay with you on your drive home. It will sit with you at dinner. It will find you at 2 a.m. when the world is quiet and you are finally alone with your thoughts. It is a story about love, about betrayal, about a man broken so completely that the only thing left was to rebuild himself into something unrecognizable. And it is a story about the woman who broke him, who came back years later, expecting ruins, and found a throne instead. His name is Stephen, and this is where it begins. 6 years ago, a young man sits alone in a hospital waiting room. His shoes are worn through at the sole. His jacket is 2 sizes too big, borrowed from a neighbor. In his hands, a phone with a cracked screen and 4% battery. He is 24 years old. His mother has just died, and the woman he loves is not answering. Her name is Nana. He calls again. 4% becomes 3. 3 becomes 2. She doesn't answer. He sends a message, 3 words. She's gone. Please. The phone dies. Stephen sits in that plastic chair in that cold, silent corridor, surrounded by strangers. And for the first time in his adult life, he cries. Not because his mother is gone, though that pain is immeasurable. He cries because in that moment he knows. He already knows. She is not coming. This is the night that would change him. The boy who had carried more than his age, who had walked 40 minutes to school on empty shoes, who had studied on the floor, who had loved quietly and given everything, would never be the same. The loss carved him, hollowed him, left nothing but determination. Because from the moment he realized she wouldn't come, he knew there was only one way forward. Rebuild. Rebuild everything from the ground up. This is where Stephen's story begins. Broken, alone, and about to become something unstoppable. To understand what Nana took from Stephen, you have to understand what Stephen never had. He grew up in a 2-room apartment where space was small, but responsibility was not. While other kids played, Stephen learned how to carry weight. His mother worked 2 lives in one, cleaning offices when the world slept, selling food when the sun came up. And somehow, she never complained, so neither did he. He walked 40 minutes to school every day, not because he wanted to, but because there was no other option. And still, he kept going, quiet, disciplined, resilient. Then he met her, Nana, the most beautiful thing he had ever seen. And somehow, she saw something in him too. They built dreams together. Late nights, empty pockets, big visions. She would look at him and say, "Stephen, one day you're going to be somebody." And he believed her because she said it like she meant it. But life changes people. Poverty changes people. The slow, quiet pressure of never having enough does something to love. For some, it makes it stronger. For others, it makes it impatient. 3 months before his mother died, she told him she was leaving. A scholarship, a new life, a new future. He asked her, "What about us?"
I love you too, Nana.
She said, "I can't wait anymore." She kissed him and walked away,
Always.
just like that. Stephen stood there until the taxi disappeared, until there was nothing left to look at. No love, no answers, no one coming back. Then he turned and he made a decision. He went inside and he got to work. The decision. What happens when you take everything away from a man who has already survived everything? He stops waiting. He stops hoping. He stops asking for permission. Hustle begins. With nothing left to lose, Stephen did the one thing no one expected. He started building. Small jobs, small money, long hours. 16 hours a day, 5 hours of sleep. No excuses, no distractions, just work. Then came Daniel, sharp, observant, different. Where Stephen understood systems, Daniel understood people. And together, they became something rare.
Yes, projections look strong.
Early growth. They studied every mistake, every loophole, every weakness in every business they touched. And slowly, people started noticing. First success. Clients came. Not many, but enough. Enough to prove they were on to something. Expansion. 1 year turned into 2. 2 turned into 3. And what started in a small room began to grow into something bigger, something real. First acquisition. By year 4, they made their first move. Not survival anymore, control. Stephen didn't just fix businesses, he owned them. The empire. And by year 6, 4 companies, a private equity portfolio, a headquarters tower in the heart of the city. The boy from the 2-room apartment was gone. Power presence. In his place stood a man who didn't speak loudly, but made rooms go silent. Cold, composed, unshakable. Night reflection. He never talked about the past, not the struggle, not the pain, not the night everything broke. Daniel observed. But Daniel saw it, the distance, the control, the walls no one could get through, the unspoken truth. No relationships, no attachments, no one close enough to matter. Then one night, Daniel said it. "You're still in love with her." Stephen didn't answer, because silence was the only answer he had left. 6 years, 2 months, and 17 days after she walked away, Nana came back. Not with victory, not with the life she imagined, but with a suitcase, a daughter, and the kind of exhaustion that doesn't show on the outside. The opportunity was real, the escape was real, but everything after that was something else entirely. She made one mistake, one night, one moment of weakness, and it changed everything. Richard Cole, charming, polished, dangerous. He didn't just enter her life, he took control of it. The marriage wasn't loud. It was quiet, controlled, calculated. He watched her, limited her, made her feel like she was lucky to be there at all. And by the time she understood, she was already trapped. A child, a marriage, a life she couldn't easily escape. The divorce, it wasn't a separation. It was a war. He fought for everything. The house, her freedom, her sanity, and somehow she won. Barely. She came home to start again, not knowing who was waiting for her. Her first week back was quiet. A hotel room, a temporary life. Mia playing on the bed, while Nana tried to rebuild something stable. Until she saw it. A headline. And in that moment, everything stopped. A name, a face, a man in a suit stepping out of a car in front of a glass tower. Stephen, the man she left behind, was no longer the man she remembered. Her phone slipped from her hand. "Mama, are you okay?" But Nana couldn't answer, because for the first time, she realized something. She didn't come back to the same life. She came back to a man she no longer recognized. Everything stopped. Daniel found out first. He always did. Not because people told him things, but because he paid attention to what they tried to hide. This office, this view, this level of control. It wasn't luck. It was built on knowing things before they became problems. The message came in quietly. No explanation, no urgency. Just a name. Nana Mensa. And just like that, something old shifted. Daniel didn't react, didn't move. He leaned back and thought. Because this wasn't just information, this was history. He remembered the first time he saw Stephen. A hospital corridor, cold, empty. A young man sitting alone, wearing a jacket that didn't belong to him, holding a broken phone, with no one left to call. His mother was gone, and the woman he loved was already walking away. Daniel came back to the present, and he started digging. Flights, arrival logs, hotel records. It didn't take long. It never did. Then he saw it, a name tied to everything that came after. Richard Cole. In the moment he read it, Daniel went still. Because men like Richard don't just disappear from stories, they rewrite them. He stared at the screen, silent, calculating. Because this wasn't just about Nana anymore. It was about what followed her back. Daniel didn't wait any longer. He picked up his phone, dialed. "We need to talk." Stephen didn't react the way most men would. "I'm in the middle of something." Calm, flat, unbothered. Daniel didn't explain it, didn't soften it. "It's about Nana." A pause. 1 second. 2. Then, "My office, 20 minutes." Because even after 6 years, even after everything Stephen had built, everything he had become, there were still names that could reach him, and Nana Mensa was one of them. Stephen didn't react the way Daniel expected. Daniel had prepared himself for anger, for that cold, controlled rage Stephen reserved for moments when something crossed a line it shouldn't have. But instead, he listened. No interruptions, no questions, just silence as Daniel laid everything out. Nana was back. She had a daughter, She had been married to a man named Richard Cole, and now she was divorced. When Daniel finished, Stephen simply nodded. "Thank you." That was it. No shift in tone, no flicker of emotion, just two words. Daniel stared at him, because that wasn't normal. That wasn't how this was supposed to go. "Stephen, I heard you. Thank you, Daniel." Still calm, still controlled. "She's here," Daniel pressed. "In this city. Do you understand what I'm saying?" Stephen adjusted his cufflinks. "Perfectly. Deliberately. I understand perfectly." Because while Daniel was focused on what this meant emotionally, Stephen had already moved past that. He turned his attention to something else entirely. Schedule her. Daniel blinked. What? Her ex-husband, Richard Cole. Stephen turned slightly, his gaze steady. He's been attempting to negotiate a buyout of his daughter's custody rights. A pause. Through a shell company registered in Malta. Daniel went quiet, because he had seen it, but he didn't expect Stephen to lead with it. "Yes," Daniel said carefully. Stephen picked up his phone. Already moving, already thinking 10 steps ahead. "Cole Ventures is one of our acquisition targets this quarter." His voice remained level, unhurried. "The company has irregularities I've been meaning to investigate." This wasn't about the past anymore. This was business. "Pull the Malta registration. Every filing Cole Ventures has made in the last 3 years. A beat. I want it by morning." Daniel didn't move, didn't speak. He just watched him. Because in that moment, it became very clear. Stephen wasn't reacting. He was positioning. "And Nana?" Daniel asked, quietly. For the first time, the question wasn't strategic. It was personal. Stephen's expression didn't change, not even slightly. "She'll come to us." And he was right. 2 days later, Nana walked into the lobby of Hartwell Group, not knowing, not understanding, not even suspecting that she had just stepped into Stephen's world. She wasn't there for him. She was there for survival, a job, stability, a second chance at something steady. She had been referred, a contact, a lead, something small, but necessary. She approached the reception desk, composed, professional, controlled. But beneath it, her heart was racing, because starting over always feels like standing on unstable ground. She filled out the form carefully, every word precise, every detail rehearsed, the way people do when they can't afford to make mistakes anymore. The receptionist took the paper, glanced down, paused, then reached for the phone. "Mr. Hart, your 11 o'clock is here." A moment of silence. Then, "Send her up." 43 floors above the city, Nana waited, seated in a room that felt too quiet, too expensive, too polished. She looked out at the skyline, the same city she had left behind, now distant, almost unfamiliar. She adjusted her posture, smoothed her outfit, ran through her story again, her experience, her timeline, her explanations, everything she had prepared for this moment. But there was one thing she wasn't prepared for. The door opened, and a man stepped in, tall, composed, dressed in a charcoal suit that fit like it was made for power. And in that instant, everything inside her went cold, because she knew that face, that posture, that presence. Stephen, but not the Stephen she remembered, not the man she left behind. Something else, something sharper, something untouchable. For a moment, neither of them spoke. Nana stood, slowly, her chair scraping softly against the floor. "Stephen, Miss Mensah." His voice cut through the air, smooth, measured, professional, as if her name had no history attached to it. "Thank you for coming in." He extended his hand. A simple gesture, a handshake. But in that moment, it meant everything. Her fingers trembled, just slightly. His didn't move at all. perfectly still, perfectly controlled. "Please," he gestured towards the boardroom. "Come through." She walked past him, and for a brief second, something familiar passed between them. A scent, a memory. He noticed, but he didn't let it land, didn't let it settle, didn't let it matter. He closed the door behind them, softly, deliberately, final. They sat across from each other, a polished table between them, worth more than everything he owned 6 years ago. She was tense, carefully composed, trying to hold herself together. And him? Still, calm, unreadable. He didn't say anything. He just watched her and waited. The room was quiet. Not empty, not peaceful, but controlled. Like everything inside it was being held in place by force. Nana spoke first. "I didn't know it was you." Her voice barely carried across the table. Soft, careful, like she was afraid that saying too much might break something she couldn't fix. Stephen didn't react. "I know." No emotion, no hesitation, just acknowledgement. "Stephen, I've reviewed your application." He didn't let her finish, didn't raise his voice, didn't interrupt aggressively. He simply redirected the moment, back to where he had control. He opened the file in front of him, every movement precise, every action deliberate. "Your qualifications are excellent." His tone was even, measured, professional. "Your gap in your employment record is easily explained by your time abroad and your personal circumstances." Nana stared at him because something wasn't right. This wasn't how this conversation was supposed to go. This wasn't emotional. This wasn't personal. This was structured, controlled, calculated. "I know about the divorce," Stephen continued. "I know about Richard Cole." Then he looked up, directly at her. "I know about Mia." That was the moment everything shifted, because it wasn't just information anymore. It was her daughter. Nana's breath caught. "What do you know about Mia?" There was something different in her voice now. Not fear, not exactly, but something close to it. Protectiveness, instinct. Stephen didn't lean forward, didn't soften. "I know she's 4 years old. I know she's healthy. I know she's the reason you came back." Each sentence landed clean, precise, unavoidable. He closed the file, softly. "I know Cole is contesting custody through a third-party legal structure." His eyes didn't leave hers. "One that will take your lawyer 12 months to unravel." Silence, heavy, unless someone moves faster. Nana didn't move, didn't speak, because now she understood. This wasn't a conversation. This was positioning. "Why are you telling me this?" Her voice was steady, but underneath it, everything was shifting. Stephen didn't hesitate. "Because I'm offering you a position. Clean, simple, controlled. And because I want you to understand exactly where you're standing before you decide to take it." Nana searched his face, looking for something, anything, anger, pain, warmth, something that reminded her of the man she used to know. But there was nothing there. No cracks, no hesitation. The boy she left behind was gone, completely. "Why would you help me?" The question slipped out, honest, unprotected. For the first time, she wasn't thinking like a professional. She was thinking like someone who had history. Stephen looked at her for a long moment, and in that silence, something unspoken passed between them. Not emotion, not forgiveness, just recognition. Then he answered, "Who said anything?" A slight pause. "About helping you." Richard Cole finds out before the week is out, because Richard Cole finds out everything. That's who he is. 42 years old, silver at the temples, the kind of man who looks composed in photographs but unsettles you in person. He built his fortune in property and private contracts, clean on paper, but if you looked closely enough, the foundation didn't quite add up. And men like that don't lose. Not cleanly, not quietly. The divorce had been a wound, not emotional, not even personal, a wound to his pride, because Nana hadn't just left him, she had won. She had taken Mia and she had walked away without looking back. That wasn't something Richard Cole forgot, and it wasn't something he forgave. Now she was back in his city, walking into buildings owned by a man named Stephen Hart, a name he knew, a name everyone knew. Richard had tried twice to open a door to that world, quietly, indirectly, an acquisition discussion, a partnership angle, something that would give him access. Both times, though, he was declined. No explanation, no negotiation, just no. Now, the same woman who had walked away from him was walking straight into that man's world. Richard stared at his phone, still, thinking, calculating, because this wasn't coincidence, and even if it was, he wasn't going to treat it like one. He made 2 calls. The first to his lawyer, short, precise, controlled, the kind of call that sets things in motion without needing explanation. Then he made the second, and this one mattered. A journalist, not public, not visible, but useful, the kind you keep close for moments like this. "I have a story for you." His voice was calm, almost casual. "About Stephen Hart." A pause. "About fraud allegations." Silence on the other end. Processing, calculating, just like him. Richard leaned back slightly, a faint smile forming. Controlled, dangerous. Make it credible. A name everyone knew. Richard had tried twice to open a door to that world, quietly, indirectly, an acquisition discussion, a partnership angle, something that would give him access. Both times, though, he was declined. No explanation, no negotiation, just no. Now, the same woman who had walked away from him was walking straight
Getting your
into
first
that
1,000
man's
subscribers
world.
on YouTube is one of the most difficult things I've ever experienced. But do you know what? It's super easy to get 500,000 subscribers.
A quiet afternoon. A park filled with laughter. Children running freely beneath golden light. It looks like peace. It sounds like peace. But sometimes, the most dangerous truths arrive wrapped in beautiful moments. Daniel has always been careful, precise, the kind of man who doesn't move without knowing exactly where he's stepping. And still, this is the one detail he almost misses. A timeline, dates, movements, Nana's departure, Mia's birth, Richard Cole's entrance into her life. He runs the numbers once, then again, then a third time. And this time, the numbers don't just suggest something, they refuse to lie. Daniel doesn't move, not immediately, because some truths, once acknowledged, cannot be undone. So he verifies, quietly, carefully, without questions. The answer comes back within the hour. Clear, undeniable. Mia, 4 years old, born 8 months after Nana arrived abroad. Richard Cole met her 3 months later. The timeline doesn't bend. It doesn't shift. It doesn't explain itself. It breaks. Mia is not Richard's daughter. She never was. Mia is Stephen's. Daniel closes his laptop, slowly, as if the movement itself might make the truth louder. He remembers a hospital corridor, a man sitting alone, waiting, calling someone who never answered. He remembers a photograph, a little girl, a jawline that looked too familiar, and suddenly, everything makes sense. He reaches for his phone, stops, thinks, then tries again. Stephen. His voice is steady, but something underneath it is not. I need you to come in. There's hesitation on the other end. Dinner, normalcy, a life untouched by what's coming. Now. 18 minutes later, Stephen is standing in front of him. The door closes, and the world narrows to a single truth. Daniel doesn't soften it. He doesn't delay it. Mia. A breath. She's yours. Silence. Stephen doesn't react. Not the way most people would. No shock. No questions. No visible fracture. Just stillness. You're certain. Flat. Controlled. Almost too controlled. Daniel explains. But Stephen already knows. Not the details, but the shape of it. Then something shifts. Not outward. Never outward. In that case, his voice lowers. Careful. Measured. She doesn't know. And suddenly, everything changes again. Because this isn't just truth. It's history. Misunderstood. Misplaced. Nana stayed because she believed a lie that trapped her, that shaped her choices, that built an entire life on the wrong foundation. And for 1 second, just one, Stephen almost breaks. It passes quickly, too quickly to hold. The man he became takes over again. Get me a DNA test. Quiet, precise, final. Without her knowing. Daniel nods, but he already understands. This isn't about proof. It's about what comes after. And then, Stephen turns toward the window, the city stretching endlessly beneath him. Everything he built, everything he became after losing her. And then, we'll see. His reflection stares back at him. Not the boy he was, not yet the man he might become. What kind of man I actually am. It starts loudly. A headline, dropped into the world like a match into dry air. Hartwell Group CEO under investigation. The words don't need to be precise. They don't need to be proven. They only need to spread. And they do. By noon, the damage has already begun. Stock prices slipping, phones ringing without pause, journalists circling like vultures waiting for blood. Chaos moves quickly, but inside Hartwell Group, something else moves slower, colder. Daniel sees the headline and immediately understands what it is. Not truth, strategy. Richard. The name lands, heavy with certainty. But Stephen already knows. He's been awake since dawn, watching it unfold, reading every word, every angle. Because men like Richard don't attack quietly. They attack loudly when they're afraid. He's going after the business. Daniel says it like a warning. But Stephen says nothing at first, because the move has already been made. And more importantly, it's already been understood. He already has. Calm, measured, no panic, no urgency, just clarity. Stephen sets his phone down, slowly, deliberately, because that tells me something important. And now, Daniel listens.
because this is where the difference between them shows. Daniel reacts. Stephen interprets. He knows. A pause. He knows about Nana. He knows she came here. And finally, the truth beneath it all. He's afraid. That word changes everything, because fear makes men loud, and loud men make mistakes, big ones. Daniel understands now. This wasn't a calculated strike. It was a desperate one. What do we do? A simple question, but the answer is not. Stephen lifts his coffee. Steady hands, always steady. Because control is not about stopping chaos. It's about letting it reveal itself. We let him make his. And just like that, the chaos outside no longer matters. Because the real game is happening in silence. Late at night, the world goes quiet. A child sleeps, peacefully, unaware of the weight sitting just a few feet away. Nana reads the article too, and she knows, immediately, not just what it is, but who it came from. Richard. She had lived inside his strategies, his silence, his manipulation, his ability to hurt without ever being seen doing it. This is his signature. But something else settles inside her. Something stronger than fear. Certainty. Stephen didn't do this. Stephen wouldn't do this. There is no evidence, no proof, just knowing. The kind that doesn't come from logic. The kind that comes from loving someone long enough to understand who they are, even after they've changed. She puts me to bed, carefully, gently, because no matter what is breaking inside her, that part of her still holds, still protects. Then she sits, in the dark, and the past does what it always does. It comes back. A street, a goodbye. Stephen standing there, not angry, not shouting, just broken in a way that didn't need sound. The kind of devastation that already knows it's about to lose everything. And then, another memory. A bathroom, cold, silent, a test in her hand. 2 lines. Fear, immediate, overwhelming. She had been alone, in a different country, with no one to call, no one to lean on. So she made a decision, not out of truth, but out of survival. She told herself it was Richard's child, because the alternative was too heavy to carry, too complicated, too painful, too impossible to face alone. And once she believed it, she built a life around it. A marriage, a silence, a compromise that slowly became a cage. Now, sitting in the dark, she sees it, all of it, and for the first time, she doesn't look away. She reaches for her phone. His name is still there, unchanged, unmoved, after all these years. She types slowly. Every word feels like something she should have said a long time ago. I know you didn't do anything wrong, and I'm sorry. Another pause, longer this time, for everything. She stares at the message, because sending it means opening something she spent years trying to bury. But she sends it anyway.
And almost instantly, the 3 dots appear. Hope, dangerous, immediate. Then they disappear. No reply. And somehow, that silence says more than anything he could have written. She turns the phone over, face down, because she already knows she deserves that silence. And then, finally, she breaks. Not loudly, not violently, but quietly, carefully. the way people do when they've learned that even their pain has to be controlled. She cries for everything she lost, everything she chose, everything she never allowed herself to face. And just a few feet away, Mia sleeps peacefully, unaware that the truth of her life is beginning to unravel. While Richard was making noise, Stephen was doing something far more dangerous. He was being quiet, because real power doesn't announce itself. It builds, patiently, precisely, without leaving a trace. The media attack? It wasn't a distraction. It was a mistake. Because while Richard was looking outward, Stephen was looking underneath, at the foundation. The Malta Shell Company, a detail most people would overlook, but not Stephen, not Daniel. They followed it, carefully, through filings, through audits, through records that had been closed too cleanly, too quietly. 3 international audits, 5 years, no noise, until now. Because once the thread was pulled, it didn't stop. It unraveled. And what came apart wasn't small. It was everything. An empire built on numbers that didn't add up. Contracts manipulated. Government tenders redirected. Financial records rewritten. Investors misled for nearly a decade. This wasn't a scandal. It was a collapse waiting to happen. And Stephen didn't rush it. He didn't go to the press. Because noise is temporary. Consequences, those last. So he went where it mattered. Regulators. Quietly. Legally. Completely. A 47-page submission. Every detail accounted for. Every move untraceable. And at exactly 9 a.m., the system responded, not with headlines, but with action. Offices visited, documents seized, questions asked that couldn't be avoided. And by noon, the world shifted, completely. The same media that had been circling Stephen turned, faster, louder, more aggressively than before. Now, the name had changed. Richard Cole, under investigation, facing charges. And suddenly, the man who controlled the narrative was no longer part of it. By evening, even his allies disappeared. Calls unanswered, lawyers silent, doors closing. And for the first time in a very long time, Richard is alone. Not in a boardroom, not in control, but in a car, watching as everything he built begins to collapse in real time. No shouting, no panic, just understanding. Because men like Richard, they always know exactly when they've lost, and more importantly, who they've lost to. And this time, it wasn't a fight, it was a dismantling. The building is almost empty, the kind of quiet that only comes after everything has already changed. No audience, no pressure, no performance. Just 2 people and everything they never said. He doesn't call her for a meeting. He doesn't make it formal, just a message. Come tonight. And she comes, because some things you don't ignore. The 43rd floor is still lit, not by people, but the city. That same city that watched them fall apart years ago and kept moving anyway. He's not behind the desk this time, not hiding behind power, not controlling the distance, just standing, like a man instead of a symbol. And when she walks in, they both feel it, everything, all at once. Richard is finished, simple, clean, final, and she knows immediately what it means, that he did this, not for revenge, something else, something she doesn't understand yet. So she asks, why? And for the first time, he doesn't protect himself. doesn't hide behind control. He just answers. Because she deserves to be safe. Not you, not me, her, Mia. In the way he says her name, it changes everything. Because it's not distant, it's not careful, it's not neutral, it's known. And in that moment, Nana understands. Not logically, not completely, but enough. Stephen, I know. And those two words carry years inside them. Not accusation, not forgiveness, just truth. And the silence that follows is unbearable. Because now, there's nowhere left to hide. How long?
How long?
A question that means everything. How long have you known? How long have you carried this? How long have I been wrong? Long enough. And that's when she breaks. Not the quiet tears from before, not the controlled pain. This is different. This is release. Years of fear, years of decisions, years of carrying something alone finally collapsing. She tries to explain. Fragments. Excuses that aren't excuses. Truth that came too late. I was alone. I was scared. I didn't know how to. But he stops her. Not with anger. Not with rejection. Just honesty. I know. Again. Because he does. And somehow, that makes it worse. Because understanding doesn't erase what happened. And then, he says it. The one thing he never said. Not when she left. Not when everything fell apart. Not even when he rebuilt himself without her. The hardest thing wasn't losing you, wasn't being abandoned, wasn't even standing alone on the worst night of his life. The hardest thing was that I never stopped believing you were good, even when you gave me every reason not to. And that is the moment everything breaks open. Because love isn't always loud. Sometimes it's just the thing that refuses to die, even when it should. And now they're standing in it, all of it. No distance left, no lies left, just truth and what it costs. This is not a fairy tale, because fairy tales skip the hard parts. They skip the consequences. They skip the damage. But real life remembers everything. So he doesn't pull her close. He doesn't promise forever. He doesn't pretend nothing happened. Instead, he does something harder. He makes space. Tell me everything. And this time, she does. No hiding, no editing, no protecting herself from the truth. Just honesty. Piece by piece, moment by moment, she gives him the past. And he does something even rarer. He listens. Not to respond, not to judge, just to understand. Because sometimes understanding is more powerful than forgiveness. And when the night finally breaks, when the city begins to breathe again, something has changed. Not fixed, not erased, but shifted. I built all of this because you left. Not out of weakness, but out of truth. Because sometimes the things that break us are the same things that build us. And for years, he told himself it was for him, that it was about proving something. But the truth, it wasn't. It was about having something to come back to, even when he didn't know who would be there. And now he does. But not the way it was before, because some things don't go back. They move forward, differently. We start there. Not love, not forgiveness, responsibility, a child, a new beginning that doesn't ignore the past, but refuses to be trapped by it. And months later, you see the result, not in words, but in something simpler. A child laughing, running freely, safe, and a man watching, not as a victim, not as someone who lost, but as someone who chose who to become after everything. Because that's the real question. Not what people do to you, but what you build after they do it. Do you build walls? Do you build weapons? Do you build a version of yourself that never trusts again? Or do you build something stronger, something quieter, something that doesn't need revenge to feel powerful? He didn't forgive her because she deserved it. He did it because he deserved peace. Because in the end, the person who suffers most from unforgiveness is the one holding on to it. And maybe that's what power really is. Not control, not dominance, not the ability to destroy, but the strength to decide who you become, even after everything. Because the most powerful thing you will ever build is yourself. Perfectly controlled. Please, he gestured towards the boardroom. Come through. She walked past him, and for a brief second, something familiar passed between them. A scent, a memory. He noticed, but he didn't let it land, didn't let it settle, didn't let it matter. He closed the door behind them, softly, deliberately, final. They sat across from each other, a polished table between them, worth more than everything he owned 6 years ago. She was tense, carefully composed, trying to hold herself together. And him? Still, calm, unreadable. He didn't say anything. He just watched her and waited.
The room was quiet. Not empty, not peaceful, but controlled. Like everything inside it was being held in place by force. Nana spoke first. I didn't know it was you. Her voice barely carried across the table. Soft, careful, like she was afraid that saying too much might break something she couldn't fix. Stephen didn't react. I know. No emotion, no hesitation, just acknowledgement. Stephen, I've reviewed your application. He didn't let her finish, didn't raise his voice, didn't interrupt aggressively. He simply redirected the moment, back to where he had control. He opened the file in front of him, every movement precise, every action deliberate. He didn't let her finish, didn't raise his voice, didn't interrupt aggressively.
On a quiet Monday morning, just before sunrise, the automatic doors of Walmart slid open with their familiar mechanical hum. Inside, the lights flickered on one aisle at a time, revealing shelves filled with groceries, electronics, and everyday necessities waiting for the day's customers. Among the
He opened the file in front of him, every movement precise, every